Hey guys, Mr. Light here, going to work with you on video 2 for April 22nd. And this video is going to pick up right where we left off from video 1. So if you didn't watch part 1, you might need to make sense of what we're doing here in part 2. But leaving off in part 1, we found what we were trying to do is find the percentage of students at Baldwin School who have the flu. And the way we do that is we take this information, I've underlined it in red here. It says Baldwin has 500 students and 55 of them have the flu. So we take that information and we go down to problem number 2 and we use 2 different methods. Your methods don't have to be the same as mine, of course. I just chose a factor puzzle here for the first one, found that it is 11%, 55 is 11% of 500, so 11% of the students at Baldwin have the flu. And the other method here that I chose is my proportion problem or cross multiplication strategy. That's my particular favorite. So I cross multiply, I get 500 times x equals 500x, 100 times 55 equals 5500 or 5500. And then to find out what x equals, I have to divide by 500, I get 11 again. So 2 different methods giving us the same percent, 11%. Okay, let's see, next problem that we were working on today was going back to this. So this is the original paper from video part 1, sorry. Got a little confused there, but I've got it. And so we're going to answer these questions here. So coming back, which school was more affected by the flu and explain why? So Appling School had 15% of students with the flu. Baldwin School had 11%. So Appling School was more affected because 15% is a greater proportion than 11%. So pretty straightforward there. You're just kind of taking the 2 schools' numbers and comparing which one is larger or which one has a worse caseload of the flu. Okay. And then part B, how do percents help you compare? And I just wrote here, percents help us make sense of groups of different sizes by making all groups standardized. Converting portions to percent is similar to finding a common denominator. So we've got one school with 300 kids, another school with 500 kids, but they have different percents of their student population that has the flu. And so what we're doing by turning each into a percent is we're balancing them out and turning them into having a common denominator. That denominator is 100. Okay, the challenge problems here, I did most of them on notebook paper, but part A, which represents greater percent, 20 out of 50 or 10 out of 20. I just converted each of these two, turned them into fractions, divided, and found them to find, I turned them into percents. So 20 over 50 is 40%. 10 out of 20 is 50%. Of course, 50% is greater than 40%. Nothing too wild there. For B and C here, the last part here, this is not the most focused picture. It's a little fuzzy, but I think we can make sense of it. So to compare the portion of our class that walks with the portion of the whole school that walks, we need some information. So I just wrote down some information here. Room 6, we have 20 total students. I made up that 13 of you guys walk. I have no idea truly how many of you guys walk, but maybe when we get back into school, that would be a fun problem to actually do. And then similarly here, Lewis and Clark School, we have 400 kids, around 400. I estimated a little bit there. And the kids who walk, again, of course, I'm just making these numbers up just to make a good math problem. Now we take each one, the left side and the right side, and we take and we find the percent of each group. So our class group, I set it up 13 over 20 equals x over 100. Cross multiply, find that 65% of students in room 6 walk. Way to go, room 6. Okay. And then similarly, I'm looking at the whole school, the number of kids who walk in the whole school. So 205 students out of 400 total students. What does that, what percent does that equal? It equals 51.25%. So of course, we know that 65% is a greater portion than 51.25%. So we've kind of got that problem solved. And then to part C asks us to choose 2 different methods to solve a percent problem. I chose numbers 5. What percent is 5 of 20? Set it up as a proportion. We've done a number of these, so I won't walk you through it. It's 25%. Factor puzzle gives me the same answer, 25%. So 5 is 25% of 20. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you on the next one.